no? Maybe it was his political strategy. Kasi nga, if we go on with impeachment case at this point, baka yung mga tumatakbong senador maapektuhan. Because the fact of the matter is that the impeachment case has become an election issue. And I don't know. Politician din naman ako, I would understand, you know? But then again, who would admit that? Pero I have this gut feeling. But nevertheless, I still hold on to my hope that our friends in the Senate, led by SP Jesus Codero, would reconsider and be more, I don't know, how should I say it, mas gampanan nila ang kanilang trabaho na igalang i-uphold ang what is stated clearly in the Constitution.
Kuya Ray, isunod ko lang.
Okay ka na? Okay na si Marian? Okay, sige. Rosalie Cas from UNTV. Go ahead with your questions.
Apo, bago po yung issue ko po, idugtong ko lang po sa impeachment. Kasi ang isang constitutional framer po, si Attorney Christian Monsod, challenge na po yung ihayag sa publiko kung sino ba tong mga senador na to na hindi interesado sa caucus para mapag-usapan ano ba ang magiging aksyon ng Senado dito sa usapin ng forthwith. Kasi pag pinangalanan sa publiko itong mga senador na to na hindi interesado sa caucus, po pwede silang masampahan ng kaso na paglabag sa saligang batas at ma-disqualify sa eleksyon. What is your comment on that? Do you agree? At kailangan ba talagang pangalanan tong mga senador na to na re-electionist, tumatakbo sa eleksyon para po makasuhan?
Ako, this has been my consistent statement from the start. Sabi ko nga. Number one, it's a leadership call. Number one. Pero yung sa tipong pangalanan, isa-isahin, matatanda na po sila, alam na nila yun. Ang pangalawa po, leadership call is also a call to action. So, kung may call to action ka, you have a responsibility. At may responsibility po tayo sa taong bayan. Yun lang po yung comment ko dun.
Kayo po.
Okay, so hindi lang pala ako ang minararamdaman na something in that line, no, that's related to politics and being strategic about it and not wanting this issue to become an electoral issue that could actually tip the balance against my political interests. But I also agree with Kong Paula that it is a leadership call. More than just the individual senators, I think it should be the Senate leadership who should set the line of direction, diba, where they're headed. And as I said, I think the only acceptable direction is the direction of the Constitution, which is very clear about when and how this impeachment complaint should be processed.
So kayo po, Congresswoman Roman, naniniwala na may paglabag si Senate President Chis Escudero sa konstitusyon dahil yun nga po, sa usapin ng forthwith shall proceed after po ma-endorse yung articles of impeachment sa Senado?
At this point, it would be difficult to say kung meron talagang intentional or, I don't know, violation. Parang harsh naman kaagad to come at that judgment, you know. Our dear friend, Senator Chis Escudero, is a brilliant lawyer, and he does his own studying. We may differ in our opinions, but still, yun na nga, umaasa pa rin kami from the House of Representatives for maybe a different interpretation. Anyway, they came up with a special order, nakasaad na nga yung calendar nila sa aming panlasa, sana nga, mas maaga, no? Pero katulad nga ng sinabi ko, baka may mga practical considerations that come into place. Ako lang naman to, baka personal opinion, yung aking intuition. But I'm not saying it's true. I can't read people's minds, basically. So, mawala ng lahat, wag lang ang pakiramdam. Pero nandiyan pa rin ang pag-asa. Mawala na rin lahat, wag lang ang pag-asa na pakikinggan nila ang aming suggestion.
Sige, thank you po. Mag-shift lang po ako sa another topic kasi po si TML Ortega, meron po kayong nirelease na statement this saying Palawan is at risk if China-funded candidates will win the elections. Can you elaborate and what made you say so po?
Nakita po natin na ang dami na namang kumakalat na nagsasalita na sinasabi na naman nila, they're claiming na pagmamayari na naman nila yung Palawan. Nako, isa na yan sa pinakamalaking fake news sa araw na to. So, nakakalungkot. That's why sabi ko nga po dun sa stand natin na hindi pwede naman na hindi pro-Pilipinas yung mga boboto natin na senador. Kailangan yung malasakit saka yung dedikasyon nila para sa bansa. Napakaklaro naman po yan. Kaya yung mga medyo tikom dyan, alam na this. Hindi sila pro-Pilipinas. Kailangan ko pa ba sabihin kung kanino sila pro? Diba? Yung mga pro-troll na yan, sigurado. Magkakasama lahat yan. Oh. So, ganun lang po kasimple yung stand ko doon. I mean, I have been consistent with all my statements na wag po natin bibigyan ng pagkakataon yung mga hindi pro-Pilipinas na kandidato. Kasi yun ang dapat number 1 na criteria ng tumatakbo na senador. Kahit naman hindi sobrang galing, kahit na hindi sobrang sipag, kahit na hindi wala pang plataforma, siguro medyo makakalusot pa yung mga yun. Pero yung number 1 na criteria na hindi ka maka-Pilipinas, dapat pro-Pilipinas ka. Yun ang number 1 na criteria para sa mga senador.
Can you name names, sir? Sino itong mga senatoriables at saka party list na China-funded?
Hindi sila sikat eh. Hindi ko sila kilala.
Alam na this.
Oo. Yung mga medyo pro-China na maingay, hindi naman ganun. Yung mga number 40, number 50, hindi ko na pinapansin. Ha? Sa kabila. Sus naman. Kayo talaga. Hindi, pero ano kasi, hindi naman, parang dinidisguise kasi nila, puro sila bato ng Diyos. Sabi ko nga, di ba, plataforma bago paninira. Yung mga malalakas maninira sa administrasyon, nako, yun na yung mga, yung mga nasa baba, yung mga hindi masyado sikat, yun na yung mga pinopondohan nila. Pero ang problema, baka yung binibigay na suporta o tulong, hindi na rin nila ginagamit sa kampanya. O, di ba? Kaya matalino naman ang taong bayan, nakikita ng tao yan. Nakikita nila yung mga pro-Pilipinas na kandidato. Saka mukhang hindi naman sila mananalo, kaya okay lang. Kaya mo na. Yun nga lang, nakakasira lang ng good vibes.
Ang gusto kong sabihin, isang basic requirement na establish sa ating election laws and of course the Constitution. Ang first requirement ay dapat Filipino citizen. Hindi pwedeng dual citizen. Kailangan Filipino citizen. Pero ang pagiging Pilipino ay dinadala sa puso. And really, how can you even imagine a senator na ang loyalty niya wala sa ating bansa? So, ekis na sila. Cancelled na. But may I add, kung ako lang naman to, papapiliin ng senador. Ang gusto ko, yung senador na ang welfare ng taong bayan ang tunay na nasa kanyang puso. Ayoko ng vested interest. Gusto ko yung tutulong sa mga marginalized groups. Kasi you know what, Kong Paolo, we only have 24 senators. So much power in the hands of too few people. At kung mag-uupo ka rin lang naman ng tao who will not serve the interests of the Filipino people, sumuko na lang tayong lahat. Parang give up na ako. Pero gusto ko yung senador na tutulong sa mga farmers. Dahil sawang-sawa na ako pakinggan na, the farmers put food on the table of every Filipino family, but they don't walk the talk. Gusto ko ng senador na alam ang trabaho ng isang legislator. Yung gumagawa ng batas, na makakatulong sa taong bayan. Gusto ko ng senador na meron na makipagdebate and express his ideas. Just saying. Ako lang to, ha? Ito lang naman ang aking personal criteria. And sana nga, pananawagan ko sa taong bayan, maging mapanuri kasi so much power nga in hands of only 24 people. At saka umari gusto ko representation din eh. Siyempre, Women's Month, gusto ko may mga kababaihan din sa Senado. So, yun lang. I won't name names, pero yun ang aking wish list.
Apo. Ito po, ihahabol ko lang po. Kasi over the weekend po ay meron pong binanggit si retired Supreme Court Justice Antonio Carpio urging the Philippine lawmakers to give up their discretionary funds for 25 years to divert the fund for the AFP modernization program and to defend the West Philippine Sea. What is your reaction po?
Pwede akong sumagot as ako lang na congressman. Ako okay lang sa akin. Pero syempre hindi naman consensus naman kasi po to ng entire actually not only us but lawmakers lahat ng lawmakers. Ako okay lang po. Sino na yung statement? Oo. Okay lang po yung sa akin, Justice Carpio, kung sakali. Pero wag na, mga konti lang naman yung sweldo ko.
Alam mo yung tinatawag discretionary funds, pork barrel does not exist. That's the truth. Sa amin, we do not even, in the concept of pork barrel nung panahon nila, mga nakarang administrasyon, walang ganun sa amin. We do not handle cash or what, everything comes in the form of services to our constituents through the different government agencies. So, baka mali yung presumption niya na ang laki-laki-laki ng discretionary funds na yung mga congressmen. It's needs-based. Even sa mga, the DPWH even follows criteria, no? Size of your district, absorptive capacity, etc., etc. So it's rather objective, ano? Even sa GAA. Now, when it comes to social services, it's coursed through the different agencies. It doesn't land as if we had our budgets, tayong mga congressman. We have our salary, and maybe a Christmas bonus. I don't know. But, discretionary funds, magagaling ang ating members din ng Appropriations Committee. If we want to beef up our defense, kaya natin gawin yan, hanapan ng paraan. Maybe the agencies that don't need confidential funds, pwede natin silang tanggalan ng confidential funds. Diba? Dapat security-related talaga. Ang ating confidential funds. So maybe that's another option. So, I don't know how to respond to former Justice Antonio Carpio. Maybe the presumption is not really very accurate.
Yeah. Pero kung sweldo nga lang, baka kumasya. Kung ibibigay namin sweldo namin sa lahat for the defense, pero wala na kaming kikitain, wala na kaming sweldo. Pero parang hindi pa rin kasya. Kung 300 times, hindi, may bawas eh. 200. Hindi pa rin kakasya. So, pero wala naman pong question sa West Philippine Sea. Nakita nyo naman, number one priority ng House of Representatives yun. Pero yung sweldo ko, siguro magtitira na lang ako ng pang-grocery pag binigay ko. Para hindi naman kami kawawa sa bahay.
Kung Ortega po kanina, binanggit niyo po na okay lang sa akin yun. Yung, kung kayo ang tatanungin personally, yung sweldo. Pero yung discretionary funds, okay lang din. Ano yung discretionary funds
Hindi,
na?
wala naman kami discretionary funds eh.
Okay.
Kaya nga sabi ko, okay lang yun. Pero yung sweldo, sabi ko. Umalis ka kasi, tumawag ka sa labas. Hindi mo narinig yung sabi. Hindi mo.
Sir.
Question is related to to Rosalie. Impeachment. Siguro after Are you done with your questions, Rosalie? Yes. Okay. We'll just recognize first Vivian Gulia from ABS-CBN.
Do you think yung delay sa trial favors the Vice President?
Well, baka magkaroon sila ng ano pag may extension kasi habang tumatagal, baka lalong may chances na alam na-explain nga ni Congressman Joel Chua to na baka may chance na may mga ebidensya mapakailaman, may mga witnesses na posibleng maharas o ma-intimidate. Pero hindi naman ako pwedeng sumagot ng specifics kasi nga hindi naman ako prosecutor. Pero yan po kasi mga reality na nangyayari. In any na kaso naman po, kahit anong case. So,
So it does.
may epekto. Indirectly.
It's difficult to say it will work the vice president. Actually, it could work both ways. Meron nga tayong kasabihan, justice delayed is justice denied. The impeachment case is actually the perfect venue for her to defend her side, to bring out also evidence, because it's a two-way setup, you know? It's a two-way setup. The prosecution will present its evidence, and the defense will also present its evidence. So the sooner we talk about it, mas makiklear ang air. It could work against her or in favor of her. Nasa Senado na yan, sa mga senator judges na manghuhusga. Ano po?
It was mentioned last week na parang may plan to discuss kung susulat ang House sa Senate regarding these concerns po. May progress na po ba doon?
Ipaulit.
It was mentioned last Friday, sir, 'di ba, na merong plan to discuss it, yung mga ganitong itong mga ganitong concerns ay i-raise before the Senate. May progress na po ba doon kung susulat po?
Hindi siguro yung mga prosecutors ang pwede natin na tanungin para hindi ako updated sa yung mga ibang details eh. Medyo hindi po tayo kasama. So baka mas okay na may mga makasagot na mas
Okay, sir. Sir, yung na-mention nyo na lang kanina na parang social media registration, can you give details po sa idea ninyo? How do you plan na this will work po against you?
wala pang details 'yon, pero parang nakita naman po natin sa SIM Registration Act na yung ganun na possibility. So again, papasok na po siguro sa 20th Congress yun. Depende rin po sa recommendation saka output nung TRICOM hearings kasi malaking bagay po yung mga nakukuha natin na impormasyon saka syempre may mga lugar na rin po at local governments that are addressing such cases sa mga lugar nila. Parang nailabas lang naman yun. Parang isang idea lang. So,
Ako meron.
Ayun, meron na si Kong Je. Siguro baka pwede kaming mag-consolidate ng mga bills namin when
Actually,
when we
parang
reach that
pamana
point.
ko na rin to sa 20th Congress. Start the ball rolling at this point. And I don't know, we do not have material time to pass this. But at least yung suggestion ko na Digital Council of the Philippines would also include a registry of content creators. Importante to, katulad ng banggit namin kanina, put a name to your different social media accounts. Behind these different social media accounts, there should be a name a person who can be held responsible and accountable and who practices responsible content creation. Now, rest assured that I have done my homework and I have looked into the constitutionality of this measure, the creation of the Digital Council of the Philippines, and I really want it to be the least restrictive measure. Kasi meron tayong scrutiny test na fina-follow. When it comes to fundamental constitutional rights, we always have to look for the least restrictive measure. Because as journalists, we know that siyempre, sagrado itong ating freedom of expression. So ako, itong aking sigurong ambag na rin, and it reflects the ideas of my colleagues sa TRICOM. Pero sabi ko nga sa inyo, ipo-perfect natin to. This much I can promise before the 19th Congress ends, at least merong na-file na isang Digital Council of the Philippines bill.
To add lang, no, kasi nagkakaroon na po rin ng concern for national security. So, siguro, kung may nakaredy na rin si Kong Je, tapos pwede naming mapag-usapan. When we we have our final few weeks before the 20th Congress. Siguro may urgency. Sabi nga nila, parang may urgency na rin po na kailangan tutukan yung mga yun. Kasi nga, meron pong, during the hearings, may mga nasabi po na baka hindi na po dito lang sa atin tong problema. Baka meron na po nanggagaling na binabato na nanggagaling sa labas.
To clarify lang po, ma'am and sir. So, kapag hindi nag-register, hindi pwedeng mag-SOCMED? Ganun po ba yun? How does this work po?
Parang SIM registration nga yan eh. Ganun talaga eh. You have nothing to hide. You have no hidden agenda. You have no intent to maliciously deceive the people or to, serve the interests of certain parties unscrupulously. Eh, wala ka dapat katakot. Pangatawanan mo. Proud dapat ikaw habang nire-register yung pangalan mo because you're behind certain social media accounts that only produce content that is verifiable, that are based on the truth, on evidence, on facts. So kung wala kang katatakot, eh bakit ka matatakot na magpa-register doon? Yes, that would be the idea. Just in the same way that we journalists, we have the Kapsanan ng mga Broadcasters of the Philippines, mayroong code of ethics na fina-follow, and we would like to believe that nagtatrabaho tayo among professionals. So maybe it's time na raise natin ang level din ng content creation. Diba? Maaari nga dito sa batas na to, maaari nating require din ng physical presence ng mga different social media platforms. Kasi ang hirap-hirap nilang habulin. Kahit na sumisigaw na yung content na fake siya, eh, deadma pa rin yung itong mga social media platforms. Tapos they don't even have a physical office here in our country. Ang hirap nun. Tapos nga, also there's this issue, ang laki-laking perang kinikita nila, no? Baka naman, I don't know, pasok Kong Joey Salceta doon sa ways and means. I don't know, it's just a possibility. But first and foremost, the main consideration of such a measure would be to regulate the sector and let it be as much as possible self-regulation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bibian. Kat Porbes from Radyo Pilipinas. Okay, Sandro Ochoa from Billionario TV.
Ayan. Pero kung Geraldine, hindi po ba magi-infringe on censorship if we will control yung social media registration?
Also, dun sa SIM registration, we are also talking about the right to privacy, and yet we approved it. And nobody has questioned the constitutionality of this law. Similarly, yung registration ng ating content creators could be likened. Marihahambing natin to sa registration din ng ating mga journalists, di ba? Kayo mga periodista, mga media practitioners. Eh, yun nga ang problema. Kung makaasta itong mga ibang content creators, kala mo na sila na yung mga full-fledged journalists. When in fact, naging purveyor sila ng fake news. So dapat magkaroon talaga ng rehistro, registry. And I don't think it will infringe on the right to freedom of expression, especially if the sector itself comes up with its own code of conduct and ethics and its own regulations on how to police its ranks and discipline its members. This is already practiced in the world of journalism. I do not understand why we cannot apply this example to the world of content creation.
So parang accreditation lang po siya. Okay.
Correct.
Tapos balikan ko lang po yung on Isabela bridge collapse. Kasi po si Kong France meron ng calls to investigate. Do you think we should investigate pa dito sa House?
Unahin na yung local nila, lalo yung region saka yung district engineer nila kasi para meron na agad action. Well, she can call for an investigation. Pwede naman po. Pero kung ako lang, i-address na agad locally para... Kasi kailangan solusyonan agad yun. As much as possible.
Yes, I agree with Kong Paulo, and that's the only way. As I said, the DPWH has its own protocols in case of these this kind of incidents, you know. Yun na nga lang, sana nga, yeah, I'm confident that it will be an independent investigation.
Balikan ko rin yung sa SIM registration. Sa social media registration. Ginagawa nga po natin yan pag during the elections, ginagawa nga po ng mga tumatakbo po. So, I think wala naman po masyadong issues doon kasi we were openly doing that for how many years na? How many elections na? Pero yun nga, pag-uusapan naman po lahat yan. Hindi naman po tayo careless sa pagbabalangkas ng batas na yun. Like what we did with the SIM Registration Act.
Thank you, Sandro. Kat Forbes from Radyo Pilipinas.
Sorry po. Ayan. Hingan ko lang po kayo na reaksyon kasi po during po the press briefing kanina, si Yusek Claire Castro, kanya pong sinabi na sila po ay sumusuporta doon po sa pagkakaroon ng regulatory body para sa social media at kanya rin pong sinabi, binanggit po na napapanohan nga daw po yung ginagawang investigation ng TRICOM dahil po sa dumarami nga po yung mga troll army na nagpapakalat po ng mga maling balita at paninira. So given po na ito po ay galing na po sa Malacanang, paano po kaya natin mapapabilis pa po yung pagkakaroon nga po ng legislation sa TRICOM?
Well, ngayon, ang ginagawa namin sa TRICOM, naglilikom kami ng mga ideas, ano? And we want to listen to as many voices as possible from the stakeholders themselves. This is the only way we can come up with a legislative measure that will respect, number one, our constitutional right to freedom of expression, and number two, promote self-regulation and come up with rules, no? Regulations and code of ethics and standards by which to hold accountable those who will not respect this code of conduct. I like her, really. Diba? Hindi naman sa biased ako dahil babae siya. I like her because she comes from the sector herself and she knows what she's talking about. Bukod pa sa fact na very franca siya, madaling mag-connect siya. She was actually a resource person in the TRICOM. Nagulat nga ako, wow. But not in that sense na nagulat. In fact, she was the logical choice to be the presidential spokesperson. Kudos to her. And we take into account and bear in mind her suggestion. And we all agree that has to be a regulatory body. And sana nga, itong regulatory body will come from the will be formed amongst the stakeholders themselves.
Pwede ba kami mag-collab? Sorry. Yun ang unang tanong ko. Pero again, yung execution po kasi nasa executive, kaya sila actually yung pinaka-main na tinatamaan ng mga fake news, ng mga fake na issues, dinidistort yung mga sagot nila, yung narrative nila, dinidistort. So talagang sinisira talaga tong bansa natin ng fake news na yan na ginagamit ang social media. So I guess she's coming from a place na gusto niya dapat credible and official po lahat ng information. So maganda po nga, sabi ko nga, kailan po kaya kami magko-collab para ma-meet namin din po siya. Kasi parang we speak the same language, ika nga.
Hello po.
Thank you, Kat. Ines Capanti from GMA Online.
Pahaba lang, sir. Yung sa impeachment, kasi the Senate President released a timeline. Meron siyang timeline na magsa-start ng June, yung last 2 weeks, carry over sa 20th. How feasible is that timeline sa point of view po ninyo? Di ba every Congress, nagpapalit naman ng leadership. Mag-elect ka ulit ng Senate President, ganun din dito sa House, mag-e-elect ka ulit ng Speaker. Given that may leadership change, pag tumawid na sa kabilang Congress, feasible ba yon? Kaya dapat ngayon na umpisahan?
Yun nga, babalik ulit ako, yung leadership call na statement. Ang problema kasi, kahit na madaming opinion na lumalabas, call po nila talaga paano mo po i-challenge kung tingin nila feasible yung timeline na yun? Ano po sasabihin mo sa kanila? So, again, babalik po rin ako dun sa statement ko na it's a leadership call. Diskarte po talaga nila yun. Whether it's feasible o may mga dissenting opinions, other legal opinions about it, it's up to them. It's up to them. The timeline can be anything. Like, pwedeng mabilis, pwedeng maikli. Pero yun nga, pag hindi po na-pull ang trigger, it's all up in the air hanggang ngayon.
I've listened to member prosecution, and they're quite confident that this is not an ordinary piece of legislation. It's not like a legislative measure na merong expiration date. Gumawa pa nga ng paghahambing na ito ay kaso. Di ba, kahit magpalit ng huwes, ang kaso ay patuloy pa rin. But then again, hindi natin malalaman, masasabi, kung ang leadership call nga ng Senado ay magiging feasible, only time can tell. But confident naman yata ang prosecution team sa House na about the nature of this type of processes, no? So, I guess, kung confident sila, meron silang matibay na basihan din.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Lenesca. Last question from Haji Camino of Brigada News.
Good afternoon po. Follow-up lang po ulit dun sa nag-collapse na bridge sa Isabela. Although this is in general, kasi may call po kasi ang Makabayan na dapat daw itigilan na daw po yung system ng kickbacks. Kasi ang sinasabi daw po ay sa project, any government project daw po, 30% daw po kasi yung automatic na napupunta sa kickbacks or kumbaga napupunta po sa bulsa ng mga politiko. 70% lang daw po yung napupunta sa mismong project, kaya daw po nagkakaroon ng substandard na materyales. Your thoughts on this lang po?
Well, that is corruption. Hindi po natin tinotolerate yung mga ganyan na gawain. Kaya sabi ko nga po, dapat agaran nilang imbestigahan yung pagka-collapse ng bridge locally. With regards to your question ng kickback, hindi po pwedeng maging kultura yan. Dapat po wala po talagang ganyan na tinotolerate.
Ako, the facts or the results of that investigation will speak for themselves. Until we reach that point, any kind of accusation is just words coming out from our mouths. So, the best talaga is magkaroon ng investigasyon, matapos na yan, nang magkaalaman na. Yun lang naman eh.
Last question ko na lang po. Balikan ko lang po yun dun sa mga hindi pro-Filipino na mga candidates po. Do you think nakaka-apekto din po dito sa issue ng espionage and yung pangaangkin po dun sa Palawan? Kumbaga dahil lumalakas yung loob ng mga Chinese dun sa mga claims po nila, yung leaders na nakikipag-engage pa rin po sa Chinese leaders. Leaders po natin na nakikipag-engage po sa Chinese leaders. Kumbaga parang nakakadagdag doon sa impact, kaya lumalakas po yung loob nila na mag-claim ng mga islands or ng mga territories po natin.
You know what? Bago tayo ako sa pagiging anti-China, we are not anti-China. We are against the activities that infringe on our sovereignty and that endanger our territorial integrity. Of course, necessarily, we have to engage with them sa trade relations, diplomatic relations. There are also many Filipinos in China. But ibang usapin na itong pagdating sa ating teritoryo, sa ating sovereignty, sa ating national security. Kung meron silang ambisyon na ariin ang Pilipinas, kalimutan na ninyo ito. Forget about it. Even this absurd app that presents Palawan as part of the territory, Delulu. Delulu is the Sululu. I mean, it's a product of a crazy imagination. Kalimutan na nila yan. Ngayon, kaya nga, importante na maging mapanuri ang lahat ng mga botanteng Pilipino. Mawala ng lahat, wag lang ang pakiramdam. Suriin natin ang ating mga kandidato, especially yung mga nasa Senado. Let's feel, let's try to read between the lines. Kanino ba talaga ang kanilang loyalty? Sa ating bansa ba? Sa welfare pa ng Filipino people versus vested interests? Sa mga marginalized groups ba? Kasi in my understanding, we should be giving more laws to those who have less in life. And I want that spirit to be reflected sa Kongresong papasok. And I mean Kongreso and the Senado na papasok sa 20th Congress. That's the only way our country can progress and that we can consolidate our democracy. And I'm happy at least kay President Bongbong Marcos. At least nakikita ko, and this is recognized by the international community. There is a respect for the rule of law. He is an institutionalist. He respects the independence of each branch of the government. Kaya nga hindi siya nakikialam kahit dito sa impeachment case. He respects the processes that we have to carry out, our constitutional mandates, and sana laging ganito sa ating bansa, lalo na sa Kongreso at sa Senado.